your voice of the valley, AM 1450 KBMW. Turner Blavis here, early part of a 1 o'clock hour on a Friday. You know what that means. It is time for your Snap Spotlight, brought to you by Snap Fitness in Wahpeton. We interview local area athletes, coaches, and media members as well. Today we got Wahpeton Daily News sports editor Robert Wanek coming in to talk about his upcoming documentary on the Wahpeton Post-20 baseball team. Boys of Summer, how's it going today?
It's going good. We're just a couple short days away from Saturday's premiere at the Bremer Bank Theater at NDSCS, and couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, and how did this idea originally come about? And I know you're working on it with Madison Nelson-Jira, who is a Wahpeton Post-20 alum as well. And I guess tell me about the early stages of it. I'm kind of a linear guy. I like to start at the beginning of how we got the ball rolling on this documentary.
So we'd been talking about working together for a couple years on things. Really like the work that he does, video, photo, radio, the whole smorgasbord of stuff, I guess. But last May, we got a blizzard. It was like May 1st, I think, and snow drifts were halfway up the Green Monster at John Randall Field in Wahpeton. And I drove by, and I was like, if that's not cinematic there, we have a May blizzard that's going to give way to a state championship season again. So we started right then and there kind of getting all the B-roll, and then the Boys of Summer just took care of business, obviously, and the story wrote itself. Gotcha.
And I always like asking questions like this about, athletes and how they help each other out and complement each other's weaknesses. How do you think you and Maddie do that for each other?
Well, he knows all of the technical aspects of things as far as sound goes and interviewing, and he's an educated fellow, where I am not. I dropped out of high school. Don't suggest it. Kind of learned my way on my own for the last decade of doing media. So he was able to really help with the audio, where the levels need to be at, the post-production, and I just have a lot of hours in on the grind of filming and doing sports. So I was able to help a lot with kind of the action videography, and then just being close and connected to the team here in Wahpeton while he did part of the documentary up in Fargo.
Gotcha. Well, I'll tell you this. 1 year of work experience, you always end up learning more than you would have at any college anyways. At least that's what all my professors tell me. They must not have been working very hard. But from what I've seen from the clips you guys have released so far, the story has kind of expanded. Originally it was a more narrow focus on the Wahpeton or, their post-20 season themselves. But it seems like now it's kind of turned into a thing on a celebration of kind of post-20 as a whole, the program. And what was the turning point for you and Maddie where you guys were like, okay, let's make this a little bit of a bigger picture look at the Wahpeton Post-20 program?
Yeah, well, a lot for the trailers has a little bit more of a broader look at the program. But when it comes down to the documentary, it is basically centric on the 2023 season.
Oh, gotcha.
We found out pretty fast that with the big events like the Battle of Omaha, 4th of July Classic, Post-20 tournament, state tournament, that we couldn't really squeeze a whole lot in. Even with cutting stuff out, we're pushing over 90 minutes, full-length film. So we do touch on the history of Post-20, and we, of course, get some background in the interviews. But, this team and this group kind of made their own legacy, and we kind of had to focus on them once we realized the amount of footage that we had.
Gotcha. And then you've always gotten support on your endeavors like this from the Daily News. What were you thinking when you were like, oh, boy, I don't know about this idea. I don't know if they're going to jump on board for this. Or were you thinking, oh, they're definitely going to love this? What was kind of the mindset when you approached your boss?
Well, I was thinking right away that I know that the community is going to love this. And I knew that the window to do this was this season because 10 of these players had been together since they were 10. And a lot of them are graduating, and some of them will be back as super seniors. But this 3-year run where they went 108-19, that window is closing. So basically my mindset was I'm going to do it. And I'm very thankful that when I approached Tara Klostrike, the publisher at Daily News, that she was on board. They tackled the sales, which awarded us the time to do it. And we pumped this whole thing out on a very, very limited budget. So we're happy with what we were able to do, and we're happy with the support that we got from management at Daily News, and all of the sponsors in the community were very generous.
Take me through your first time watching it from start to finish when it was the final cut.
So it was first time seeing each other's.
No spoilers.
First time seeing each other's projects, because he worked on certain portions of the film and I worked on certain portions of the film, and we're an hour apart. So when I shipped my stuff off to him, he put it all together, and when we sat down and we watched it the first time through, we were like, this works. You know, this is exciting to us, and we've watched our clips hundreds of times. So if it's exciting to us, we think the audience will be excited. That was kind of where we were at. And then just seeing our styles, contrasting styles. He shoots a lot of slow-mo. I shoot a lot of more high-speed stuff with the camcorder. So seeing how those blended together got us really excited.
Gotcha. And obviously, anybody who follows Post 20 Baseball knows how the season's going to end. I know you probably had confidence that this crew is going to take care of business, considering they won a state title a couple years ago. But tell me, there had to have been some sleepless nights where you're saying, please, please, do not drop the first game in the region tournament and wrap this all up. I mean, how big of a curveball would that have been for the documentary? I'm sure you guys still could have made one, but a little bit about the preparation, and had that gone through your head?
Yeah. So right now we're looking at, 300 to 400 people being present for this event. And that, they almost lost to open the region tournament, as you just alluded to. And we thought, well, this will be great. Boys of summer, you know what happens. We'll see you December 30th. So for them to get through that first game, obviously made the storyline better, a little bit of adversity. But if they would have lost, maybe we just would have thrown in like a black screen, and that would have been the end of it. It would have been tough.
Gotcha. It would have looked like the season got canceled early or something like that. Without giving away too much, what do you think was the hardest thing to cut? I know that there must have been so many that you're just like, oh, I just wish we had time for this. And then also, as part two to that, what is the runtime?
So the hardest thing to cut would probably be a little bit of the mic'd up stuff. We wish we could include more, but to tell the story of the games, you got to see the kids, see the kids playing. So it was very hard to find a blend between videos of them playing and then sit-down interviews and mic'd up stuff. Because we want them to have as many highlights as possible that they can look back on in the future, but we also don't want it to be a highlight tape. We want it to be a documentary. So I guess the runtime of it right now, I believe, is around 1 hour and 40 minutes. So Maddie's doing the final publishing here. We're going to have provisionals, like 6 different copies on hand, so that we make sure nothing happens in plays. But it's under 2 hours, and I mean, it plays through very, very well. So we think the viewability is going to be awesome.
Release the 3-hour cut, you cowards. Please release the 3-hour cut. We need it.
Well, we got to have stuff from this season for next year when we do a follow-up on this. So those folders will begin getting created now.
Oh my! I didn't know there was a planned follow-up. I wasn't aware of that. A little bit about is it just one of the things where you had so much fun the first time, you're like, we got to do this again? Well,
they're going to be returning Jackson Fleeflet, Caden Kappas, main characters. Josiah Hoffman and Jack Rittenauer have the opportunity to come back. Those guys are dudes. And then you have a lot of guys coming up that are very good. Cooper Klosterman, Nick Langenwalter swings a hot stick. So we think that next year they'll be right in the top 2-3 teams mix again. So I think there will be some general interest in seeing from now to then.
Awesome. Well, sounds good. Appreciate you coming in. And a little bit about, I guess the last part would be, anything else you think they need to know before this documentary airs? Like as far as, I think all the tickets are already kind of sold, or there's going to be some at the door as well.
No, you'll be able to get tickets at the door, $15 a ticket at the door. We will have bottled water available. It's 8 p.m. premiere, and it comes after a doubleheader of Wahpeton basketball. So you'll be able to watch that doubleheader. I believe the second game's at 3. Go home, eat, get all your snacks in, and then we'll make sure you stay hydrated when you show up. I guess the only other thing I wanted to do while you have me here is just shout out to Damon Smith, too, for running open gym at Breckenridge during the holiday season. Some good runs with some alumni. All 6'11" of Luke Christensen was there dunking it, and lots of young kids too. So shout out to Damon Smith for opening that this week, so the kids have something to do before the premiere.
He was one of my favorite Snap Spotlight interviews. I brought him on last year. I thought he was a fun time. So I'm glad to hear Damon's still staying around the game and hopefully teaching other people how to shoot.
Yeah, and get the recipient of some pretty good nicknames from you, if I remember.
Oh, yeah, several, I'm sure. Yeah, we could go through the list, but that would be here all day. Robert Wanek, sports editor at the Wahpeton Daily News, and also a documentary filmmaker as well. Congratulations. It's going to be a lot of fun to see it debut.
Thank you.
All right, and now we'll get you back to the music after a quick word from our sponsor.
Snap Fitness, your locally owned gym in Wahpeton, wants to have you join their workout family. Snap offers personal training, and owner Renata Faub will even write up workout plans for you. If you're an athlete in the Twin Towns, Snap Fitness will help you make sure you're prepared for the upcoming sports season. To all the retired athletes over 65, Snap Fitness participates in the Silver Sneakers Insurance Program, and most major insurances reimburse for memberships to Snap. Stop by Snap Fitness today and ask about their membership packages. They're located at 102 7th Street South in Wahpeton.